much higher in the first place that the nerfs that sort of we've seen bring it down to surface levels are broken.
That was beautiful. I'm sorry to laugh in the middle of your point, but that's just so funny. You know what I have to say to your point?
What's that?
That's it. The thumbs up. That's
nice. A little cheeky, and then we're good.
Love it. We love it.
Red side
Skarner
bans?
banned.
No way.
Yeah. You know, I'm actually kind of surprised they banned the Skarner, and there's one reason why. Milky Way hasn't played it. Like, even when there were times, like, RNG has actively banned it when they are on blue side. So I think this time around they were like, hey, you know what? If they're going to give it to us, we'll put our guy on it. Yeah. I think that's why IG waited so long. They wanted to see if they would. And they even tanked on it a little bit. But first pick Ashe, no surprise here. We're going to put that on Jachi here. You know what? He's got to have a good game because he had a problem on Ashe in their game 1 against FPX. He was a little gun shy with the Enchanted Crystal Arrows.
So looking to see if they can try and punish something in the mid lane then, which, you know, we're pairing up with a Vi already for IG. We'll have to see what is going to be that mid-jungle duo. But matching AD carries from here, I think Jinx is something that could still very easily get picked up. Instead, we're going to see Gala go for something a little bit different. But that Jinx champion, very, very strong on this patch. If you're playing AD carry at home, go pick up Jinx. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. And already, okay, alrighty, we have got anti-dive. We see Vi, we go anti-dive. Beautiful.
We see a Misfortune bullet time, we say Kindred Ultimate, Lamb's Respite. No, not today. And on top of that, you get Milky Way on probably his best champion. This couldn't have gone better for RNG through the first couple of picks of the draft. Now, the question is, how are they going to wrap a bow on it to enable Milky Way? I think the Galio does a good job of that, but they need a little bit more as the Rel will come in a common pairing with the Misfortune.
Okay, so I'm looking second round of bans for a Gragas ban from RNG. Gragas typically very good versus the Kindred. It's also a really good blind into the top side as well for the Shy. So if they ban Gragas on second phase here, I'm going to be very happy. As for IG, they've committed already, right? MFRL is a bot lane duo, very good apropos of anything, but they need to focus on more dive champions that they can get rid of. So Poppy, really solid at stopping disengage. I think that Braum as well is a champion that they can look towards to try and ban. Ashe Braum as a bot lane duo, very powerful. And obviously moving into the team fights, getting rid of Braum when you've got this type of composition, also very useful.
Yeah, and given the fact you already picked your bot lane, you go like, well, you know, they're not afraid of picking Braum, so maybe that one should go off the board. Talia ban coming out because Vi Talia, such a potent combination. I do wonder what ban RNG will throw at IG. I think they'll probably go after Rookie again. There's a couple of good options. We all know that Vi Ari is really good. Braum. We know that Vi Orianna is also very good as you see Braum taken away.
Yeah, the Braum sort of mandated, and now this gives RNG a bit of a flex. They can put Lulu on the Galio. Galio support actually pretty decent, especially versus Rel, and you can actually do pretty decently with this duo themselves. So effectively, Lulu could have eaten 2 bans and still just plays the Galio anyway, which is the power that this Galio offers you. I mean, Gragas is not banned now, so I'm really expecting IG to look towards that. Gives them some magic damage, which they're missing. Gives them great disruption versus the Kindred ulti specifically, and you know, would be a really solid slot into their composition.
I like the Sylas ban coming out because there's just so many high-value ultimates for RNG. IG tanking on this Ahri pick here. Oh my.
Wow,
okay. They just take a left turn and go for the Swain Rudude. I mean, they have enough damage coming through with the Misfortune, but I feel like they're going to need a little bit more coming through. Maybe give a carry champion over to the Shy. He's been very muted so far throughout the beginning of the season.
And you know, there's a world where this Swain you know, really thrives, right? It's a great champion at trying to dive, even better if champions are coming into him. So far, when you see double ranged, I think that taking the Swain is a little bit dangerous for Rookie. And, you know, with that being the case, we'll see how that plays out. I will also say RNG have taken Jax blind when, again, Gragas, a champion that does very well versus Jax, also does very well versus the entire composition that RNG have drafted for themselves. So the Shy this game, I think, has got so much power to augment how the fights go. He can be such a facilitator for this IG roster, or he can be the reason that they fall flat. This Gragas has got so much power to control how the fights play out that your eyes have to be on him to see what happens.
Couldn't agree more, Rude Dude, especially with all this engage you see on RNG. And, you know, I don't know why RNG didn't pick the Gragas, because, listen, if you're playing against the Swain, the easiest way to get Swain out of your multiple melee champions that you have is just to barrel them the hell away.
No, it's a really effective strategy, Yanni. You're not entirely wrong. They've sort of buoyed or budgeted that, I guess, with the Alistair and said, okay, well, maybe we can headbutt the Swain away. I do think as well that Kindred, Ashe specifically, they're probably going to have a decent enough time versus the Swain, trying to kite out. Really easy to use Hail of Arrows on the Kindred as well to just sort of dodge out from the pull. Ashe going to have a little bit more of a difficult time, but that's by the by. Using the volleys, you should be able to slow down the Swain as well. But I think Rookie, this game taking the Swain was not in any way where I would have looked to, but I'm very excited to see what he sees that I don't.
Sorry, I was distracted. I saw Pit Fighter Vi for a second. My bad. No.
You agree
really
completely with what I
wanna
said and
see-
have no notes?
Yeah, I really want to see this Swain pop off on the one hand. And listen, this is going to be the game for Rookie to eat on this champion. You know, and IG as a whole has a nice mix of magic damage, has a nice mix of physical damage, exactly what you're looking for. Now the question is, are they actually going to be able to kill like Lila later on? Are they going to be able to kill Tang Yuan? Very big questions that need to be answered.
Yeah, the damage profile is very geared toward the early game, and that you're sort of playing this war of attrition where you're going to have Bloodthirst and Misfortune, you're going to have Swain period, you know, he's just going to be healing up, going crazy. Vi with Conqueror, Gragas as well is likely going to have that Seraph's, likely going to have a little bit more tankiness built into him, or rather sustainability, I should say is the more appropriate word, built into him. So double Conqueror as well on the side of IG. Anti-heal, I think, is the name of the game for me. Need some of that being built up early on, and then maybe we can hope that IG do get cut through.
One thing I didn't think about is, you know, because the pick was just so surprising to see Swain. Swain, you know, fulfills the same purpose of what you'd want with like a Vi and an Ahri or a Vi or Talia. You have the ultimate, the cease and desist, and then you can pull the stationary target in. You know what? That is a pretty solid strategy, and of course, into these multiple melee champions, this really is a sharp pick by Rookie. Something you expect out of a player of his caliber who's been around for many, many years.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still absolutely baffled because when he took it when he saw Ashe Kindred, I think that's just a terrible duo to try and take it against. But fortunately enough, RNG ended up picking up 2 more melees, so gives the value to the Swain a lot more, let's say. Now, Australia lanes come through for the second time, I believe, this series as RNG and IG meet up on the top side with their bot side as Jiaqi, excuse me, missing out on a couple of experience, and it's the level 2s coming in for IG.
Oh, nice sidestep there from Jiaqi. Is now they're level 2. Lila with the flash pulverized there. Gala has to try to get away. The cleanses are out. Gala's getting rifled down. And now the turn is on to Mako. Can Gala get close? The mark goes down onto Gala. Just an inkling of a feeling. Anything Milky Way can do to give his team up there the edge.
And I wonder now what this means for our junglers. Milky Way pathing his way up towards this top side. This wave will crash under the turret at some stage. And whether or not Milky Way makes his way up there to try and force a dive, you know, kind of something that you'd have to think about when that mark goes down. As for the bot side of the map, you already see Judge moved his way in, cleared his top side, moving down to that bot side now. It looks like RNG are just happy to kind of tank the fact that this wave is pretty dreadful for them and just look for a recall as well.
I like that you mentioned the bottom side of the map while we have a moment here, because we've seen Jax almost exclusively go this tank build. And in a matchup where you're neutralized a little bit by this Gragas, and there seems to be some decent damage on the IG composition, but not a ton, as Lila has to walk away. Do you think we'll see a tank Jax again, or do you think we'll see more of your typical Jax builds?
I think this is tank Jax, unfortunately. They have really good physical damage already with Ash Kindred, so there's not that emphasis really for the Jax to go tanky, for Xiaoshu to pick up that tank route. Looking at this top side though, Layla probably going to give his life to try and kill Gala. No summoner spells, remember.
Yep, Gala's still marked. Oh, what's going on here? A taunt in the mid lane, but Zhezhe is the one who gets here first. It'll be first blood going over to Vi, and on the top side ends up being a 1-for-1, but the mark going to Milky Way, the kill to Jiachi.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just the kill and it's not just the mark, it's all the experience that gets missed as well. Gala going to miss out on a fat wave under that turret, which is completely picked up by Jiachi. So already the bot lane advantage for the Ashe really beginning to extend itself. And now we get to see sort of how it all broke down as we were looking at mid lane. Milky Way starts it up, but outside of the turret, so Gala kind of mispositioning a little bit, if you want to say that, but not forcing the turret to be focusing somebody throughout the entirety of his health bar going down feels like a misstep. And now the wave gets to bounce back out. Milky Way can go and catch his bot side camps, work his way back up to the top side, and rinse and repeat.
Yeah, and sweeping this ward to maybe make something happen a little bit later too by Lolo there, as we're going to see Milky Way head into the bot side of his jungle and clear bottom to top. So, you know what? Come in for round 2 if you want.
Nice little stun there, picked up by Xiaoshu, and with the teleports available for both of our top laners, this isn't really too consequential. Interesting that we see him pushing that wave out, though. Feels like when it could have been left to push back into you, not necessarily the worst idea to just leave it and teleport yourself back in. Nevertheless, with Judge spotted on this bot side, just giving a little bit of a safety net to both side lanes.
Acutely aware of where this Vi is at. Vi at level 5, so, you know, when the level 6 hits, going to start to make some more plays. Already made that early play onto the mid lane. You know, very rare that you're able to get that done, but Vi does have solid ganking power. And when you have a mid laner with CC, you can get it done. So they sweep out wards, and RNG's bot lane up top, just trying to impose their will.
So normally we've seen some big fights for these grubs, and it's typically required some finicky swaps. This time round, Judge starting up, has just Vault Breakered, so probably just going to smite this one and try and get himself out of danger, but fight to be had.
Yeah, they're going to turn on the top lane here as Mako is forced to flash away. And the question is RNG caught the claw, the flashes, but Mako is kind of stuck. And here comes Tengyuan into the middle of the fight as they manage to make it a 1-for-1. Kills to the 80 carries. The taunt goes down onto the Swain as Tengyuan is able to get out. But yes, he is. Shy lying in wait. Thought he was maybe going to drop his ultimate and try to knock Tengyuan into the rest of the squad, but not so.
No, I mean, he's just running anchor, unfortunately, for RNG. Might even be able to deny this camp going down. Smite picked up by Milky Way, but I mean, all this time, by the way,
wait,
the bot lane.
What is he doing? The Shy has to flash away. He doesn't have any backup. He will be able to find a way out, though.
All right, well, I mean, honestly, he's wasted a lot of time. He knew that he was sacrificing by coming for this play, and you know, as much as this is going to hurt him specifically in his 1 versus 1, this has actually been very beneficial for IG overall. So now we'll have to see what Xiaoshu can do with this lead that he's been given. A little bit of free time down on that bot side, and he's able to find a couple of plates for himself as well. So the Jax, a little bit more accelerated than the rest of the map, but it's come at that cost of the Misfortune being able to get back into the game. No longer isolated and shunted out of that top side, actually ahead in experience of all things.
And has a BF sword, by the way. So you know that certainly turns the tides early on. It might not be a completed item, Rudude, but you being an 80 carry would know well. Yeah. That's damn near a completed item.
It's very good, and it can be so difficult, sort of even early game, to find 1300 gold to reset with. So getting that and being able to get back out onto the map definitely feels very, very good for Gala, having been dove at level 3. Formally in this game. And now moving down into that bot side, looking at how that matchup plays out specifically, still should be favouring the Alistar and Ashe, because you've got so many ways at disrupting Gala and making sure that bullet time never really has any semblance of channel time. As soon as you start to see it, you've got Alistar combo to go for. You've got Enchanted Crystal Arrow, which you imagine is going to be picked up relatively soon here for Jiachi. Actually a full level behind the Misfortune at this stage, just checking a quick glimpse at the XP bars, and overall, despite those, lane swap shenanigans and the fighting on the top side, Gala's been able to get near experience where seemingly Jachi has not.
Yeah, this is a very positive start to the game for IG.
Lula's level 6, and his AD carry is not. That's a problem.
Yeah, that's pretty rare. You don't see that very often. And, without that Enchanted Crystal Arrow for at least a little bit, is going to potentially present a problem. Milky Way is headed to the top side here. So it looks like he's trying to figure out if he really wants to go in on the Shy here. As Xiaoshu does have damage with that Sheen. Milky Way finds his way into position. Just a matter of actually getting this under the turret. He does mark the Shy, so the Shy is going to walk up and ward and say, hey, get out of here.
Rookie! Rookie, run! Your top lane is in danger. Get up there quickly!
They need to do something and fast, but the Shy keeping the minions outside of turret range with some deft movements there. Thwarting that game.
All right. Okay. Nice and easy, in fact, it turns out. Milky Way just postures on the right-hand side of the turret, and the Shy just says, okay, are you going to jump on me as Jax when I have two ways of stunning you under the turret? I don't think you are. You don't actually have any ways of forcing me out of this, so just good heads-up play from the Shy. Make sure that he's not actually at threat of getting dove, and once again, mitigating some of that advantage that the Jax should be getting, because he was able to get a couple of plates just earlier on. Milky Way currently sat on those 2 markers, so was able to find a crab somewhere, and a bit of a skirmish as well that we saw up on that top side, taking down Gala earlier on. And as we look at the teams as they go later and later, right, you sort of highlighted this a little bit earlier on, Yanni, but there is a fear with this IG roster that their damage isn't actually that high as we move later. I know for a fact that Misfortune just doesn't feel good playing versus tanks, so Galio, Alistair, this theorized Jax build that we've got is going to feel pretty rough for the MF, and that's your AD carry. And then you're thinking about, okay, is our war of attrition much better? And you're hoping that Rookie is going to be able to do a lot of the heavy lifting, staying in both the front and back line to do damage.
Hang on, Rudude. That's a dagger in the inventory of Xiaoshu.
I see that.
That
suggests a Trinity Force.
Yes, my friend, yes. We might see some big
good
damage coming out of Xiaoshu, which I think would be nice to kind of diversify. That your damage isn't just coming from your ranged champions. Enchanted Crystal Arrow not landing burns the flash of Mako, and that is something that we wanted Jachi to be doing, is throwing out those arrows and RNG trying to make plays off of them.
But importantly now, that is when grubs have spawned. You've got no Enchanted Crystal Arrow, and you've still got Mako with Hex Flash and full Rel Engage available. So the tools, I think, for IG, again, slightly beneficial. Something that they can be looking at as they move into this objective. And if we just look at the items completed as well, only 1 finished item so far this game. It is for Judger on this Vi. Sundered Sky means he's going to be very, very difficult to take down. Just 1 auto attack on anybody gets a little bit of a heal. And that frontline tenacity, again, continuing to be very, very potent.
And I think with the fact that you have that completed item for Zhizha, RNG maybe could let this go, but I love the trap that they're setting here. Lele manages to get behind. Big headbutt. Can the taunt go down? But Zhizha is completely alone. Here comes the Galio ultimate and the Lamb's Respite. It's split off Rookie. He's completely caught, but the Shy with his big belly bump knocking everybody to the side and over the wall. Down goes the Galio and a huge pull on top of it. It's an ace! Almost. Yes? No, it is an actual ace. That's 12 minutes.
Just cannot die. The Swain just tanking everybody. He's got Merc Treads and a Ruby Crystal. How is this champion allowed to stay in the front line? And RNG are thinking, we've got all the time in the world to take down the Swain. They, in fact, did not, and they couldn't have been more wrong. The Shy is just a little bit faster to the play, makes his impact felt that little bit sooner. That's going to be 6 grubs. It's going to be another teleport expended as we get another look at how this fight breaks down. So they go for Rookie. That's an expected flash from Lula there, not just a whiff. He was anticipating a flash from Rookie. We get to see a glimpse of how their composition for RNG should be playing out. You've got such good disengage. We've used the Lamb's Respite to survive the Vi ulti. But then, in comes the Shy. The Rookie is still absolutely fine. 3-man body slam into 3-man root, and the fight was already over. IG now thoroughly ahead in this game.
Good golly, Miss Molly. This is looking like the Demacia Cup game that they played against each other, Rude Dude. IG is cruising early on in this game. The only criticism you could have for that was the Gragas ultimate knocked him out of the Misfortune ultimate, but it didn't matter, my friend. They had plenty of damage to spare, lots of completed items, and IG will head over to the Dragon. By the way, they got the grubs too.
Yeah, so they are very, very happy with the way that this game has started to pan out. It was, again, one of those slow burners for the early stages. A couple plays here, a couple plays there that Milky Way had sort of started. Mako as well with a couple of really good outings himself. But, you know, we've started to reach a neutral point, rather, in this game. And all of a sudden, it is just completely IG favored.
This is going to be tough, Rudude. I don't... So there are ways that RNG can come back. The problem is, I mean, they're just going to get... The pick potential is so high, so is the hard engage potential. You really...
Going to lose out on this game. IG are currently moving quite quickly through structures, through objectives, and look at these timers as well for the recall. 3 people, 4 people now with Rookie channeling base have all started their reset 1 minute 10 before the Drake spawns, get themselves their second one of those of the game, and it may not be the be-all and end-all objective that they might have been looking for, but just a small thing to say, yeah, we're quite happy with the way this game's going, we're able to find those objectives, and we know that we're not in any rush, is the type of calm, composed type of victory that we've been looking for IG. What I'm looking for them this game is to not really let this lead go.
With these veterans, I don't expect that to happen. With this large of a lead, this early into a game, and RNG without a weapon on their side to have the ability to stall out a game. You don't have that Azir like you had last time to make sieging difficult for IG. IG, as you mentioned earlier, has more go buttons to force the issue. So IG just need to keep things the status quo, get a couple more picks here and there, and really impose their will. Winter's approach picked up for Rookie. I just, figure I'd note it because it's a Swain mid, and that's really cool.
Yeah, and with Rylai's as well, this Swain is not really going anywhere, and you're not able to take him down either. I think from here, if Rookie wants to go like a Randuin's, that wouldn't be, completely like off the wall, and I think that really just ensures his tankiness. From there, you can go really whatever you fancy, but like just one armor item here, and this guy is absolutely indestructible.
The frozen heart could be pretty good too. Just
yeah.
slow up that attack speed a little bit. It's dealer's choice at that point because realistically, you're splitting hairs. When a Swain gets that tanky, you typically don't win a lot of games when you just have Kindred Ashe. I mean, how many TikToks have you seen of Ashe just rifling away on a target and doing piss for damage and not doing a damn thing?
Just absolutely
I have a feeling we'll see that. Yeah, I have a feeling we'll see that. You know what? Actually, we might not even. The game could be over before that point.
Yeah, the Ashe might never actually press Q on the Swain without actually dying prior. So it's a tricky position for Jiachi to find themselves in. And I think that Milky Way as well, certainly in a bit of a rough spot for the way that this game is going to go. I like that we've still got the mark on the Rel. I think, of all people, Mako most likely to die because he's the only one who's really going to be A, in the front line, and B, squishy, which is the important caveat, because if Rookie's in the front line, he still just tanks everything. Trying to take down Mako seems like the most viable way to get any sort of takedown, to take an advantage with your marks, but even still, it's so tricky for Milky Way to get past this point.
Respect to RNG, because they've been doing what they can to farm up as best they can, and IG really hasn't pulled the trigger on anything. Sure, they took a dragon, but nothing more after that. The Rift Herald finally getting expended up in the top side here. It's long after the turret actually went down. I just wonder if they'll actually do anything with it, Rude Dude, as Rookie will hop in the robot here. He's going to knock up the Galio as they go for a full 3-man engage. They have a decent amount of damage, not a ton right now, but Rookie is sustaining pretty well. Xiaoshu ends up in the middle of 4 people. A teleport was not what you wanted. Lela trying to help him out, but he's going to go down, and IG get the pick that they wanted, and they'll take out the top inner turret.
There's your TikTok moment, Yanni. We got to see Jachi wailing away on Rookie, and he's just absolutely fine. One member falls, but it's the turret going down as well, and it's IG continuing to slowly press on the wounds of RNG and force them out of this game. 7,000 gold now in their favor. The top tier 2 falling. The Atakan, the next objective that you'd like to think IG are going to reset for. And it is just becoming methodical at this point. An engagement onto the Galio, one that, you know, typically isn't going to go so well, but wallet checks are just all that they need. Tang Yuan able to limp his way out to safety using the Lamb's Respite, but that means you're then taking a fight where you don't have Lamb's Respite and they've still got Cease and Desist. They've still got all of these powerful tools to keep themselves from going down and to take you down as well. IG just playing very clinically in game number 3. Back to what we were hoping for this roster.
Yeah, this is the status quo for IG. These big names over on their side, and they're doing it with a unique pick. Rookie with adding the Swain to the repertoire. That means it's a champion that any other team that goes up against them is going to have to watch out for, because it has been used to tremendous effect this game, Rudu. 2 minutes until the Baron spawns. 1:20 on this Dragon. Atakan is being pinged. I don't think we got a good look at it earlier. It's the lame Atakan.
It's the same Atakan that we get every single game in the LPL, Yanni. We're going to have to get used to it. It's just a little bit saddening.
It's Voracious Atakan? Always has been.
It always was.
Oh, he's going to get his 3rd mark.
It's so funny that that's what we have to be excited for RNG, because the rest of this game...
Small wins.
Yeah. No, and you're quite right. A 3rd mark is great. Unfortunately, the breakpoint for Kindred is 4. The idea of getting to a 4th mark, possible, but still seems very distant, especially when there are now 5 people barreling down mid lane with the withdraw buff. And the tier 2 turret is a formality. Tier 3 turret, honestly, should be their goal.
To put on my Captain Obvious hat once more, when you're in a game and the casters are talking about, hey, you might hit your 4th Kindred mark, you're not in a good spot.
So, well, RNG, unfortunately, they're in a position where they know that they're not particularly well off in this game. They're going to be acutely aware of the difficulties that they find themselves in. I think that if they want to look for a fight, honestly, and this is going to be really brutal to say, now is their best time, because they have 2 items on all of their carries, and that is largely the same for IG as well. Now, the bad news is, even if they take a fight, they are down 2 levels bot lane, 1 level mid lane, 1 level jungle, and 1 level top lane. So there's already at least 2,000 gold worth of statistics built into those champions that RNG just don't have. They're also trying to fight versus the Atakan buff as well. So whilst they had the best time to fight just then, there were a ton of other conditions that meant that actually it would have been very, very difficult and pretty darn rough.
And the worst news, dude, it's not going to get any easier, because take a look at some of the items in the inventory. We've gotten a Seeker's Arm Guard for both the Shy and Rookie. Going to make it much harder to kill these guys. Yeah, the Baron is warded, but is there really going to be a move for RNG? Milky Way is going to have to go on a suicide mission, and given the fact that this Baron is so low, and the bouncers, Rookie, the Shy, and Mako are here to keep everybody
we're
away.
all bouncing.
Goes in trying to land a taunt, but Lila goes down, and you are not allowed entrance to the club. You didn't pay the cover charge. Go to the back of the line, and the Baron is IG's.
And they're going to easily pick this one up as well. Those bouncers doing an expert job, and the triple front line, really something that RNG didn't particularly have an answer for. There is great news, though, for RNG fans, and that is that Milky Way finds his 4th mark. So
let's go!
The champion now
I think
has
that's why the crowd's clapping.
Yeah, they've got a little bit of extra range, but that is the very pale silver lining through what is a sea of dense fog.
Hey, listen, remember how I said earlier there are still shutdowns available? Those shutdowns have gotten even fatter.
Oh, that's true.
They're still there. You can still get them. I don't know if you're going to be able to. I love that combo, by the way. Milky Way and Tang Yuan. In a closer game, that would have been awesome.
It would have been. Don't get me wrong. I'm not 100% sure of its intent, but I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt that they meant to do that.
It looks cool.
Yeah, it did look cool, and I think that's the important part when you're down 8k gold is that
Style
you know,
points.
yeah, as long as you've got style while you're losing, hey, we'll take that all the way. Next port of call for IG should just be to wrap up this bot lane tier 2 turret. They can also look to break open the base through bot lane if they so desire, but with Drake spawning in 2 minutes 40, they've got such a nice route to be able to play this game out. They can look through bot lane, look through mid lane. As soon as that Baron wears off, exit towards the dragon. They've also got probably enough time to break open the base, recall, and then go for the dragon, get that soul on their back pocket, and then there really is just no looking back.
Dude, realistically, they might not even leave the base. They might just take the game here. Bottom inhibitor turret and inhibitor are falling with the Shy pushing
as well.
in the mid lane. They're going to rotate it right over. 2 inhibitors down. They have plenty of engage. I wonder if they're just going to rip it here. They're going to start sieging on these Nexus turrets. Dude, RNG has to do something. They've been hapless all game, but at least go down swinging, and that's what Lila is trying to do. But he is so low. He's got to flash away, but the Demon Flare on the Demonic Ascension did enough to take him out. It's a 5v4. Hey, Rookie's low at least. Xiaoshu's going in. Here comes the Galio ultimate. It knocks up
flashed.
one. And here is the bullet time. It doesn't really do a whole lot, but it did enough. Tangyuan's going to go down. Xiaoshu on the back line. Will he be able to claim the life of Gala? He flashes and he got him. Shutdown acquired. But dude, where's your Nexus? Well, it's gone. A 28-minute drubbing by IG.
Very impressive performance, and right back to re-establishing those expectations we had of IG